I hate to say it. I hate to say it like this. Mostly because I hate saying his name, but it's true. It's true. It's true that chart topper Aubrey Graham, just like the sitting president of the United States, is rap's slopmeister, scapegoater, and grifter in chief. And in this video, I'm going to lay out why we should reconsider someone who took their rise to power within the culture and leveraged it sheerly for money, slop, clicks, and engagement, while leaving you, the fan, hanging on for more. And sure, if you're a Drake fan, you're not even clicking on this video because of the title alone, and I get that. Unless maybe you're a Trump fan too and you want to see how your besties resemble one another. But if you're OVO and you're still here, hopefully you leave this with some reasons why you should demand more of the artists we choose to platform. And maybe demand more of the Iceman himself. Let me start by saying I myself was a Drake fan, with genuine interest in his music, up through Certified Lover Boy, which is not that long ago. But by then, I was seeing the signs. I had downloaded the Comeback Season and So Far Gone mixtapes when they dropped. I might even have So Far Gone on a hard drive somewhere. I remember the promise of Thank Me Later, that the TV star turned rapper from the most unlikely of places, Toronto, Canada, was going to bring a new style of emotional braggadocio to the genre and the culture at large here in America. Soon, Drake is securing placement with Lil Wayne's Young Money label and finding success with singles like Show Me a Good Time and Find Your Love, and not long after, Marvin's Room from the next album, Take Care. Rap and R&B fans from the early 2010s were suddenly getting a one-man culture shift. Kinda like that guy. Real estate mogul and certified Nepo baby, Donald Jehoshaphat Trump, who at this time was the host of The Apprentice, airing on NBC from 2004 until tanking ratings ultimately led to a revamped version of the show emerging. The Celebrity Apprentice premiered in 2008 to half the ratings of its predecessor, and after running another 8 seasons, the series, like all of Trump's other businesses, was canceled, with an Arnold Schwarzenegger hosted 15th season in 2017, just as Trump's own first term as president began. Now you're asking yourself, how are these two alike? Actually, as I've found and researched, they're way too alike, but I've narrowed down the reasons to 8. So now, may I present to you of the many enterprises that have enriched Trump over the years, outside of the resorts, the golf courses, the real estate properties, and that small $60 million loan from daddy. One way he's always been able to wring a buck out of the American people, that is, outside of straight up taking it, were the various schemes. There was Trump University, Trump Steaks, Trump Vodka, Trump Water, called Trump Ice, classy, Trump Airlines, Trump Mortgages, even Trump the Home Game. This went on right up through this second presidency. Remember the Trump Bibles with the little constitution in the back that you throw away once he eventually does? There's still the Trump phones that haven't even materialized yet because they were supposed to be made entirely in the USA. But even he couldn't make that happen. The slop keeps on coming down the trough, and the MAGA piggies, they'll keep eating it up. Drake, on the other hand, hasn't had an undeniable hit album, something that resonated with critics and fans alike, since 2019's Scorpion. I was there. Nonstop, Mob Ties, God's Plan. I still got Nice for What and In My Feelings on playlists. And while I've enjoyed the occasional single or album track here and there, ask yourself this. When's the last time Drake dominated the monoculture the way that he and his loyal fan base claim? It surely hasn't been with the consistent line of whiffs, including Dark Lane demo tapes, Certified Lover Boy, Honestly Nevermind, Her Loss, For All the Dogs, and Some Sexy Songs for You. It's one thing to sell millions of records and go platinum, but what sounds hot in the club and what's objectively good music can be two different things. This is the reason Nicki Minaj doesn't have a Grammy. Can I fucking lie? Reviews for Iceman and its accompanying Habibti and Maid of Honor are among his worst. To be honest, reviews for Drake's discography have been middling at best since Views. But diehard fans, they keep lining up for the gruel. Please, Drake.
I want some more.
What? In 1973, Papa Fred and son Donald Trump were sued by the U.S. Department of Justice for discriminatory practices against black people. No surprise. How did they do it though? They had been marking rental applications for their Brooklyn and Queens properties with a C to connote that they were from people of color. When Trump's original lawyers told him to settle and do the right thing, he said,
"Fuck that! I don't like people playing on my phone."
And sought out Roy Cohn, notorious lawyer for Senator Joseph McCarthy. Yes, that Joseph McCarthy, during his anti-communist congressional hearings in the 1950s. Trump went to that guy, and Roy told him,
Roy said to him, "You might be guilty, it doesn't matter. Go after the Justice Department. Don't ever admit guilt.
Fight it. You'll kill them. Just deny everything and fight."
This philosophy follows him through the remainder of his professional and political careers, right up through to today, where he denies wrongdoing left and right as he dodges accusations, including associations with his old bestie, PDF file, Jeffrey Epstein. Before Iceman even arrived, Drake hit us with, "What did I miss?" His first response to the beef since Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance, aka Victory Lap number 3. He starts off, "I don't give a fuck if you love me. I don't give a fuck if you like me. But you do, brother. Oh, you do. Why else would you be putting out music?" He goes on in the verse, "I'm whipping around on like 600 acres. He's already moved on to bragging about how much land he's purchased. The track goes on to name various people in his camp as having switched on him, including subs at LeBron James and Rick Ross. Instead of turning inward and maybe investigating why he might have lost said beef, because he lost that beef, he lashes outward over the same type of beat and the same type of flow that we've already come to know from him. The name Trump is synonymous with lawsuits. It's how he gets what he wants, but it's also how he stays in trouble. As of this recording, the New York Times reports that President Poopy Pants is currently facing 600 different lawsuits, with 500 in active litigation. It's so many that the Times has an active administration lawsuits tracker. You can check it out for yourself. Now, my broke ass can't even imagine facing one lawsuit, let alone multiple hundreds. For Drake, after reception of the beef began skewing in Kendrick's favor, a seething Drake went to the courts with his outrage. Graham sued his own and Kendrick's parent recording label, Universal Music Group, for defamation, claiming they intentionally promoted a song that blatantly called him a PDF file. The suit was thrown out in October 2025 as Kendrick's bars were considered non-actionable opinion, and basically no different than facts when listed in the context of rap battle and beef. The Iceman's team, or whoever will have him at this point, is currently seeking appeal. Embarrassing. If you're on a Donald Trump cabinet, you might as well have a ticking clock on your forehead, because it's only a matter of time before shit gets real bad for Trump and something that he did comes down the pipe and you pay the price. Ask Kristi Noem, or Corey Lewandowski, who was fired for suspicion of an affair with Noem, or Pam Bondi, or Betsy DeVos, or Michael Flynn, Reince Priebus, Anthony Scaramucci, Mark Meadows, or the savior of New York, Rudy Giuliani. The list goes on. Actually, multiple lists go on. With Trump, if you mess up, which working for him you're bound to, you're out of here. But is Trump ever out of here? Unfortunately, not soon enough. Now, if you're on Drake's production team, or if you're lucky enough to have found yourself in his inner circle, you might have woken up to Iceman's release to hear your name among the many sneak or straight up disses on the album. As I mentioned earlier, LeBron and Rick Ross found themselves subject to his icy ire, but they weren't the only ones. Obviously, there's some light Kendrick hits in there, but A$AP Rocky, Lucian Grange of UMG, Mustard, DeMar DeRozan of the Sacramento Kings, Joe Budden, Pharrell, and Jay-Z made the hit list on this album alone. If you didn't have Drake's back during the beef, off with your head. There was one name I left off that list previously because it made for an especially strange kind of diss. Miami's own DJ Khaled was called out by name for refusing to say Free Palestine, even though Drake himself has never publicly decried the genocide in the region. Now, outside the God's Plan video, I'm going to need someone to show me Drake's humanitarian efforts, because where? Now, as for Trump, you'd have to be blind not to know what side he's on. Obviously his own. But just in case you didn't know what other side he's on? Ask yourself this. Which country has the USA given billions and billions of dollars in military funds to? And what has that country done with those funds? Both Drake and Trump have garbage style. Absolutely trash style. Period. Trash. Garbage. Drake and I are about the same damn age, and he wants to dress more like my nephew. What's worse is when you have all the money in the world, all these palatial mansions, campuses with no art on the walls. Everything looks like you just moved in. You got pools, decks with nobody hanging around but streamer hangers on. And the dog huffing hookah, talking about get like me.
By the way, I'd like to say something. I feel like in the No Lie video with 2 Chainz, I was smoking hookah. I feel like I was responsible for the hookah boom in America. I just want to lay claim to that. I don't know if anyone wants to give me that credit, but it was way less shisha in the club and way less shisha spots in America before I smoked. So, that was in like 2014. I was on the hookah wave.
Bro, touch grass. Please. Now, Trump's even more embarrassing because he thinks he actually has style. This dude puts up gold-plated, Third Reich-looking motifs on everything.
And you can't just do that. That's, you look at that, that's quality, right?
Truly, the most desperate shit ever. And speaking of desperate, the way his cabinet fawns over his sleepy ass in meetings is so bad.
As we approach Labor Day weekend here, this is just such a great opportunity really to recognize your leadership as a true champion for working people.
If you all haven't stopped by the Department of Labor, Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner.
From the troops directly, which they ask me to say all the time, thank you for your leadership, for your boldness, for your clarity, for common sense.
When all this is over, I'm going to need Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio to look back at these videos of him sucking up to Trump. Never have I seen lips so surgically attached to ass. All right, now when it comes to this one, don't come at me. I'm not here to come off as Dr. William H. Respectability Politics, okay? I'm not going to tell you who to listen to. I don't want to tell you how to have fun. I like fun. I mean, you can look at the background, it may not look that fun, but I swear, I like fun. But sadly, I got to talk about this part. Now, first things first, Donald Trump is a known sexual abuser. There are court cases, they've been litigated. He is a convicted felon. Point blank, period. Argue with yourself. All right? Now, when it comes to Drake, to me, Drake is a soft launch towards a much bigger problem in rap music, R&B music, pop music. I'm not going to tell you what to listen to. I definitely don't want to tell you what to do with your life. But when we listen to and platform artists like Drake, Chris Brown, David with the 4 in it, Tory Lanez, when we give these artists our money, when we listen to their music, when we give them our views and our streams, we are platforming their ideas. We are platforming their personhood. We are giving them the platform. And I think that when we do these things, we are platforming these ideas. We are platforming misogyny. We are platforming misogynoir. We are making the environment more unsafe for women, more unsafe for Black women. I know the music's hot. I know, this is fun. It's all in fun. And I'm not here to kill anybody's fun. But when we platform people that embrace misogyny, misogynoir, we are making our world more unsafe. It's one thing to listen to the music and say, yeah, it's in the music. It's not that bad. Or, I'm not the one doing anything like that. I'm not sus. But we then give Drake specifically opportunities to do things like this.
Feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your breast feel against my chest. I just want to thank you.
Donald Trump is a known colonizer. He's already tried to invade multiple foreign nations and install phony leadership. We see that on the nightly news. But he's tried multiple times to colonize pop music for use in his campaign rallies and appearances, only to be hit with just as many cease and desist orders in return. Now, Drake, on the other hand, is rap's most notorious colonizer. He ran to Atlanta so much, there's a song on Iceman called Ran to Atlanta. Now, I'm sure he thinks it's very clever. It's giving not thought through, though. And let's stick with the new releases. Maid of Honor has multiple songs ripping off other genres as attempts to shake it up and try on different masks. Princess is a Kid Cudi song. Goose and the Juice is a Weeknd song. Stuck is his own shot at New Jack Swing. For Why? And he's ripping off his own dance hall biting More Life era for most of the other tracks. The song Classic is a hollow attempt at mid-career Prince, just so he can say he tried it. Now, also, last thing, speaking of cease and desist from pop stars' music being used by the Trump administration, yo, what the fuck is this? Unfortunate is what it is. All of these attempts at trying on other styles ring empty when you're just doing them to do them. There's no artistic inspiration, no juice, no storytelling, no merit. Drake leaves the fans uninspired. Trump leaves his base uninspired. I think it's pretty safe to say that both Drake and Trump have peaked, washed. Reviews of the Iceman 3 release are not so nice, man. And if you hate that pun, he did it first. And Trump's approval rating among both Republicans and Democrats is at historic lows. We deserve better from our culture. And I think it's time to leave these two in the dust. They'll be fine. Or whatever. Maybe they won't. Now, if you made it this far, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much. I honestly appreciate it. This is my first long-form research video. I would like to do more of these, honest. So if you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.